Okay, on page 10, let's take up some of these. What's the connection between a cone and a cylinder for volume? What's the connection between Alex? A third, right? So remember, it's always this is a third of this, or this is triple the size of this. And so if you know that this is 162 divided by 3, that means the cone is 54. This one, when you square a negative number inside a bracket, you know your final answer is going to be positive or negative. Positive. Two negatives make a positive. So you know it's not this for sure. You know it's not this for sure. It's going to be either this one or this one. Since there is a bracket, it means you're squaring the top and the bottom. So it's this. Okay. Appreciation, depreciation. We talked about these terms yesterday. Appreciation means going up. Depreciation means going down in value. Okay, so guitar that tripled is saying the value of it tripled, so it's already telling you it's an appreciation. Right? Cell phone, obviously, it depreciates, otherwise, you will not be getting a new one every 2 years. And then an art that increase in value, so appreciation. Okay. Uh, this one is a little tricky. This one. To alliteration is shown in the table of value on the right. Select the words correctly, complete the thing. Okay, so if I were to make a quick little sketch of this, 5 minutes, 10, 5, 10, 15, 20. Remember, time always goes on the bottom. Alright, so time always goes on the bottom. And then this will be temperature. Alright, so for the first one, sorry, let me just do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, something like this again. 15, 20, 25. So 5 is at 10, and then 10 is at 13, 15 is at 16, 20 is at 19. So the first one looks something like this. Okay, so this is number 1. And then the second one, 20. At 20, it's already at 14. And then at 40, it's at 22. Okay, so yeah. 1 second. So I would say this one looks something like this. Okay, you know that eventually they will meet. So the line that represents relation 2 starts. Does it start lower? It's gonna be tight. Oh, okay, I see. What's the difference here? Between 14 and 22, it's 8 degrees. So if I go back one more row, notice it's 20, 40, 60, 80. So if I go back one row to 0, what would the temperature be? 6. That's right. Okay. What about this? If I go back one row to 0, this will be at 7. So yeah, that's why my graph, it was a little hard to tell. Did it go above or below? So, but now if I go backwards in my table, I can see that relation 2 starts lower. It starts at 6. This one starts at 7. So I don't know if you guys remember, I was saying EQAO love to give you a table where you have to go backwards until you get to 0. All right, and then if you take a look at the rate of change relation to a sense. Oh, take a look at the steepness. Which one is more steep? 1 or 2? 1 is more steep. So this is actually less. But then, miss, this is 8 and this is 3. Isn't relation 2 steeper? Do you have an answer for that? this is going up by 8 and this is only going up by 3. So isn't this going up faster? Yeah, take a look at your x value. This is going up by 20. This is going up by 5. So this is actually going up less. For every 20, it's only going up by 8. But then this one, for every 5, is going up by 3. So it's actually less. Okay. And based on the sketch, you can see that the line 1 is more steeper as well. Okay, so when you're comparing the steepness, you cannot just look at one point because their starting point could be different, right? Because this one starts at 0.7 and this one starts at 0.6. So this, if you just look at this one point right here, it's not enough to say which one is the steeper one because they don't start at 0.0. If they did, then yes, you can do that. Okay. So this one is a tricky question. So notice some multiple choice questions are really easy, like 10-second questions, and then some that really you have to really think about. All right, and so like I would say this is one of the harder questions on EQAO. So and that's the difference between if you for those who get the perfect 100% or the 97%. Okay, questions like these. Okay, which graph is most appropriate for the line of best fit in this data? So this one, where line of best fit goes through most of the points. Okay, right here, you know that this is 90 degrees because this is the diameter. So the inscribed angle is 90. So that means this third angle out of 180 is 48. Okay. Okay, one of those questions again. Don't forget to include Ahmed. So Ahmed's age is N, and then Maria's age is twice as old as her, so 2N. And then Gia is 3 years older than Maria, so 2N plus 3. And then their combined age is 38, so that means you have to do N plus 2N plus 2N plus 3, and then it equals 38. So when you do the algebra, N plus 2N plus 2N gives you 5N, and then you will get the expression. If I were to solve it, 38 minus 3 is 35. 35 divided by 5 is 7. That means Ahmed is 7 years old. Okay. What is the mean? How do you calculate mean again? Yeah. Yeah, add up all of them. And then you divide it by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10. And then you get 199.8. Okay. This coding question, let's say I have no idea what I have no idea about coding. Just hearing the word coding scares me. Okay, but just looking at this, what do you think that the code is trying to do? What are? Yeah, exactly. So you're just calculating tax and tip. That's all it really is. So if I didn't put this as a coding question and just asked you in general if the shoes, oh, no, sorry, it's tips. If my meal was $86, what is it including tax and tips? So that's basically all it's asking. Don't be afraid that it's a coding question. So 86, you're going to times it by 1.13 and then times it by 1.2 for the tax and the tip. And if you do that, you'll get 114.38. Okay. And if you were to guess, I'm adding about 33% more in total, right? So 13% tax, 20% tip, so that's 33%. These values right here look too little for 33%. You're basically adding a third more, right? And then this you can't because it's less than your meal. Okay, so out of elimination, you should be able to guess that it's that one as well. So if you're stuck, do educational guess. Okay, some people were asking about this question on page 12. So -2, remember every point has an x and a y value. So the first number is your x, the second number is your y. So if I replace it, -2 times 1 plus 3 times 6, okay, what do you get? You get -2 plus 18, which is 16. Is 16 greater or equal to 10? Yes, it is. And so you circle that and that. Um, oh yeah, one thing, make sure you read the question carefully. Select all of the points that satisfy. So if that's the case, likely there's more than one. Otherwise, it will just select the point that satisfies. Okay, so pick up these little clues from the question as well. Okay, this one, some people were asking about this as well. It looks really ugly and confusing because you have decimals and fractions. So since they give me decimal, I'm going to use decimal. 1 and 3/4 is just 1.75, and 3 over 2 is just 1.5. So I'm just going to use my calculator and punch all that in. So 2.6 plus 0.5 bracket 1.75, close the bracket, minus 1.5. Okay, and I get 1.975. So looking at this, that didn't give me a decimal. Well, 1 point something tells me that it has to be either this one or this one. So 0.975. 29 divided by 40, that's not 0.975. What about 39? 39 divided by 40. I get that 0.975. So I know it's this one. Okay. You can cheat like this when it's multiple choice. Because remember, multiple choice, you don't have to show any work. Alright, this one, again, fraction equals a fraction, so I can do cross multiply. Cross multiply, divide. So 4x equals 60, so when I divide, I get the 15. Remember, these ones is just 2 steps. Cross multiply, divide. Okay, 30 centimeters, if it's 15 slippers long, what is the length in meters? So again, they try to trick you. One is in centimeters, one is in meters. So when you do the math, it's 4.5 meters. Okay, I'm just gonna finish off this page. Okay, right angle triangle. I know I'm doing Pythagorean theorem. So since I'm looking for the side length, I'm gonna do the subtraction. Alright, so 7 squared minus 6 squared, you get 13. Don't forget to square root it. And then you get that as your answer. Okay. Last two that I want to go over here, scientific notation, because we didn't really go over scientific notation. Remember, it's right after the non-zero number. So you put the decimal after the first non-zero number, so 2.53. And then if you count the number of space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's 10 to the 7. Okay, and then this last one with a box plot, this is your median. So remember, this is your minimum value, maximum value. What are these three values? Yep. Q1, Q2, and Q3. Which one is my median? Q2. This is my median. Okay, so at least half of Naomi's math tests are 84 or higher. So it means most of them are higher than the 84 because that's your median. Okay, so remember, median means the halfway point, and so at least half of it. Yeah. Give me 30 seconds. Okay. Yep. So the rest of it. Did you guys know answers are actually given in the back? Okay, so you should be able to check the answers for the rest of these. Just I'm just picking and choosing ones. This one, this one right here, angle X. Remember, if this is 60, that means this is also 60. What is this angle called? What are these angles called? Inscribed, right? These are your inscribed angles. Okay, so if I know that this is 60 as well, that means this is 60, 80, that means this has to be 40. Okay, because any triangle adds up to 180. Okay, okay. Oh, this one is actually a good one as well. The 21 negative 4. Yeah. So if I were to do a quick little sketch of this line looks like that. Okay, positive 4, negative slope, right? If I reflect it on the x-axis, so shoop, looks like this. Okay, okay. What is my y-intercept value then? So if this was 4, this is now negative 4, right? So that's what it's trying to ask you. Okay, remember we did flip and rotate. What's the so this is flipping reflecting on the x-axis. If I rotate the line 90 degrees, what's another word to describe the line? Yeah, perpendicular, right? So your slope, is negative reciprocal. Okay, so rotation and perpendicular means the same thing. Okay, whoops. Okay, let's see these ones. You guys should know. Yeah. Okay. Oh, correlation coefficient. Which one is the weakest correlation coefficient? We talked about this in class, so I just wanted to make sure we touch on it. Which one is the weakest? 0. Uh, uh, yes, it is actually 0.02. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, the number closest to 1, it's the strongest. So this is like, remember when we described it? This was a strong positive. This is a strong negative. This one is moderate, and then this is almost neutral. So remember the closer to 1, the stronger. The closer to 1 or negative 1, the stronger. Okay, so if you want the weakest one, that means you want the one furthest away from 1 or negative 1. Okay. Okay, and then this one, you actually just have to count the boxes. Okay, two half box would make one full box. Okay, any other one I wanted to talk about? This one is a composite figure. You needed to draw the dotted line there, and then you'll see a right angle triangle. So you're doing Python 0. Okay. Again, connection between prism and pyramid, a third. Oh, this question with finance. She wants to borrow money. Borrow money. Okay. Which option that would increase her cost of borrowing? So if she increase the payment, does that increase the cost of borrowing? No, because you're paying it off sooner. You're paying it off faster, so that would reduce it. So this would actually reduce, decreasing the amount of down payment. So that means you have to borrow more money. So this would increase. Okay, remember down payment is all it is. It's going towards your principal. Increasing the interest rate, that would definitely increase the cost of borrowing. And then decreasing the length of the borrowing time, which means you're paying it off sooner, so it will decrease it. Okay, so which one would increase? It would be this one and this one. Okay, okay, I think the rest are pretty straightforward. We went over in yesterday's as well. These motion graphs. Okay, on page 18, number 20, select all the statements that are true. Jonah does not stop walking within the first 10 seconds. Nope, we see a diagonal line. That means they're moving, they're walking away. Oh, remember with these, we don't use the words up or down. We use the words away or towards. So remember away or towards. Ah, all right. At 7 seconds, Jonas is moving away from his house. Yeah, he's away from his house. So, yep. Jonas begins at his house. Yep, that's right. And then his greatest rate of change is 3. Okay, so rate of change, which one looks steeper? The first or the second? Which one looks steeper? Which line? The first one, this one right here. This one looks steeper. So I just have to calculate the slope to see what the rate is. So I went up 9 and over 2. So 9 divided by 2 is 4.5, so it's not 3. So just those two are the answers. Okay. Remember the algebra questions? So I did give you guys the extra practice sheet if you guys wanted it, and there were tons on algebra. Okay, last page 19. This is a dotted line, so inequality graphs. You will definitely see at least one of these on EQAO. All right. So dotted line tells me it's not going to be this one, and it's not going to be this one. Why is that? Badar? Yeah, so because it's dotted, I know it's not equal to. All right. And then I'm shading in the bottom part. So which equation will it be? Bottom, I'm shading below it. So y is greater or y is less than? Less than, right? Because you're below, bottom, right? So less than. So which one is y is less than? It's this one. So I didn't even have to figure out what my y-intercept is. I didn't even figure out what my slope was. I just, based on what I'm given, dotted line, eliminate these two. And because it's below the line, then I know it's less than. Okay, and then that's pretty much it. Yeah, so that was up to page 19. Since it's a late start today, that's why I went through this pretty quickly. Again, answers are on the back, so you can check your answer to see if you got the last 9 pages correct or not. For homework today, you are finishing the rest of the booklet. So you might think like, well, why are we going so fast, miss? Well, it's I want you guys to be able to finish your exam and EQAO on time. Remember, exam is 90 minutes and you have to do like 10 pages. So that's why I'm like trying to prep you guys with your speed. Okay, I'm not trying to put pressure on you guys. I'm just trying to prep you guys so that you can finish the whole exam. Okay. So yesterday I asked you guys, out of the 54 questions, how many of you got more than 70% correct? So today I'll ask you the same thing. From page 10 to 19, there were again 54 questions. How many of you think you got at least 70% of the questions correct? Good job. I like the confidence. Excellent. Okay. So keep up the good work. Finish off the rest of the package. At the end of class, in about 20 minutes, I am going to come around to check how your progress is in class. Okay. Thank you.